We're back, another MPTV, and this time we got a team member from ABR, RMTW, Deep Workspace, whatever the hell department you work in on what day. We got my man Peter Glenn.
What's going on?
Peter, so, and for all you out there in internet land, we've got America's Best Restaurants is our company structure. Underneath that, we've got Restaurant Marketing That Works, which I guess you really don't do a whole lot there. You help with the marketing content that leads people there, leads restaurants there for our help. And then we have Deep Work Studios, which is our production arm of our company, and that is your main function. You are camera person number 3 in my world.
Yeah, it's always funny getting that introduction. Yeah, David Scott Peters told me to get a camera person, so I got David Schlatter, and then I had to get another one, so I got Max, and we needed a third one, so that's where I came in.
Yeah, it was Billy Jean. Now, David Scott Peters, who we filmed, Billy Jean Shaw was 2016. He's like, Matt, you need somebody to follow you and film. And I'm like, why? What I don't know half the dumbass shit I do be on camera, which you probably got some stupid crap. And he's like, no, there's knowledge in there that's happening. Like, my behind the scenes that's going up soon on our Dallas trip that Max filmed me on the roof on a phone call with a restaurant about what we do. I never would have had that on camera. And that's a piece of content that's going to help tell the story of our company. Yeah. I think a lot of people miss those stories.
Yeah, and a lot of times we start out with the concept of flying to Dallas and filming the day, but some of the most insightful information that we capture is just those little one-off moments where you catch a phone call or a team member calls you or something just by chance happens, and that's some of the best stuff we get.
Yeah, some of the best, some of the gold. Now, I don't foresee that a lot of our ideal clients, which are independent restaurant owners, are going to have Peter Glenn's or David Schlatters or Max's following them around and filming them. But there is an opportunity for, you got 4 or 5 locations, having somebody on a media team, Sean Walchef, Cali Barbecue Media out in California, which you haven't been out to California with us, have you?
Not yet.
It's going to have to be a San Diego trip soon.
Let's do it.
And he's got his own media team, because once you get to a certain size, yes, you want to have outsourced help, but you also want to have internal people that can help turn your vision into reality.
Yeah, I think you and Sean were talking about that on your last Own Their Phones, having an implementer.
Yeah, having somebody put it in place.
Mm-hmm.
So what have been some of the things you've seen early on? Because when you came here, you were brand new to the restaurant world, but you weren't a stranger to this device, because I'm guessing with your age, you've grown up. Like, you probably had a phone when you were like 4.
Yeah.
So you've grown up around digital media. You're very, so I'm looking for, very advanced on how to use it. What have been some of the things you've seen so far that stick out to you as opportunities that, that restaurant owner out there watching or listening to this could take away?
I would say the consistency of it. I think it's really easy to get hung up on being perfect. Yeah. And that's something I learned through you, and what you preach is you just have to turn it on, get in front of it, and get it out there. Yeah. And being consistent in that high turnover, eventually you get really good. Like, you're one-off, so you pull your phone out, sounds perfect, but 3 years ago when you did it, maybe not, but you still did it.
Yep.
So that's probably been the biggest thing I've seen coming on board is consistency.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. I tell people all the time, they say, man, I'm no good at video. I'm like, you might see me now that I'm good. I sucked 5 or 6 years ago. And I remember one of my first ever videos. I'm live. Like, I always say, like, there was nobody watching. Like, 0. I could see 0 on the the little counter. I'm like, who am I talking to exactly? And I remember Billy Jean telling me, and it's not Billy Jean. He's not my lover. It's not Michael Jackson. Billy Jean Shaw from Billy Jean is Marketing California, one of my first ever business coaches. Guy has deeply impacted our business and our company. When I met him, it was me, Ashley, and a couple part-timers. Mm-hmm. And now there's a 9,000 square foot headquarters with people everywhere.
Yeah.
And people across the country, and our overseas team is strong. Shout out to Varen. You deal with Varen.
Shout out Varen.
And the opportunity he told me about back then was, Matt, if you don't ever start taking those swings and having those 0 views, you never get a chance to practice and get really good to where the Best Buy video that me and Dave that I filmed on my phone that went viral, millions of impressions nationwide, worked so well was because I was comfortable pulling my phone out and saying stupid shit.
It was instinctive.
Yeah. It was instinctive. Like, hey, Matt, say something stupid. Trigger all the TikTokers out there, which, man, it did.
Oh, my gosh.
Gosh, I've heard all the rumors that China has built TikTok to make Americans stupider. And I will say that 9 out of 10 of the sentiment, 9 out of 10 people, the sentiment is positive, liking it, commenting like, that's so dumb what Best Buy did, blah, blah, blah. But then there's that other fraction of the 10,000 or so people that commented, that I'm like, wow, like, I don't know if TikTok made you dumb or you were already this dumb, but the fact that you're sitting here commenting and not understanding the context proves everybody right.
Exactly. I mean, I'm online MP, so I got all those comments. I read through the whole thing. And like you said, 9 out of 10 was like people agreeing with you.
Yeah.
But all the articles are written the opposite direction.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Which is great because at the end of the day, we're just trying to get eyeballs.
Exactly.
Money follows attention.
Money follows attention.
Now, granted, I'm not sure it's going to follow Kanye in the short term because he might have got the wrong attention. But maybe he's smarter than we realize, and maybe he's got some master plan that he's like, he's going to get there. So another thing that you've stuck out to with me, I did a podcast the other day that restaurants, when you have consultants on your team, don't hire yes people. Don't hire people that are just going to agree with you and go along the path. You, within a month of working here, I'll never forget where I'm sitting there filming something and I'm talking and you're like, that's garbage. And he said something like that. I was like, okay, what you got? And he's like, change this. And I changed it. That's why I've got you here. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking for a set of eyes. Talk about, having that comfortability to say, hey, no, stop talking.
Yeah, I was pretty nervous that first time. I remember we were right out there doing one-offs, and I was like, oh, man, he fumbled his words pretty bad right there. Is anybody going to say anything? Maybe that's my job. I should say something.
Yeah. Hey, you suck.
Well, I mean, I think everyone can benefit from constructive criticism, so just had to step in.
Yeah.
Say something.
And that's a key element is if you're going to have people around you to give you advice or work on your team. I never forget when I was with Hofbrauhaus. They were one of our first clients in the restaurant space, Newport, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Columbus. And the guy that ran Pittsburgh, like, all he wanted was a secretary. And I'm like, you don't have a clue what the hell you're talking about when it comes to marketing. Would you rather me give you the right advice or rather me go down the damn one-way street with a bus coming at us the wrong way because you said that's the right way? Exactly. And this was that guy. And that was one of the reasons we eventually quit working together was I just couldn't handle that. You say, dude, I'm a terrible secretary. I'm an expert at this specific thing. Let me do my thing and let me take what you have and make it something better.
Exactly. So you're filming out there. Hey, say it like this. Yeah. So much better.
Yeah. And you've also helped with that with the calls to action. Because that's been one of my weak points is I think I have a video idea and I'll start yipping. And then we're 2 minutes in and I've really not caught anybody's attention. And the average video, I think they say online, is like 6 seconds. And so you've got the average view, I guess. Yeah. The average view length is 6 seconds. But you got guys like me talking for 2 or 3 minutes. If I don't hook in the beginning, it screws it all up. Talk about the hook and how important that call to action is.
Yeah, that call to action, you have to have at the front. And I think that's something we implemented in the Restaurant Marketing Experts channel is, hey, I'm Matt Plapp. I've done this, this, and this. Here's why you should listen to me. And I think once we did that, the increase in views was pretty apparent. Yeah. And the subscribes and asking people to subscribe. You can't forget to do that. You have to say like, comment, subscribe. You think it sounds like second nature, like, oh, I liked it, I'll do it. But sometimes it's just hearing that, don't forget. Yeah. You're like, okay, I'll do it now.
Oh, I've been watching YouTube videos because you know me, I don't watch a lot of TV, but I'll sit in a hot tub for an hour a day and watch YouTube videos, business or personal and fun. And they're like, hey, don't forget to like. I'm like, oh, shit, I got to like it. Like, exactly. It's just, you do it. And when they do it, it helps the algorithm.
You get carried away with that recommended video, and then you get called. That call to action says, hey, don't forget before you leave, subscribe.
And that's why it's important. I think a couple of things that I've seen that are huge are you can sell with sex, you can sell with fear, you can sell with excitement. Well, food porn is called food porn for a reason. Like, I'm a steak guy. If I see like Phil up at King's, my mind went break. Three Kings, I think is what you call it. Sorry, Phil, I'm butchering it right now, but he's up there in Philadelphia. He's got a couple restaurants, and he's got this giant tomahawk I've seen him use, like tomahawk steak. And that really, King's Tavern. King's Tavern is what it is. Okay, there we go. I got you, Phil. So Phil at King's Tavern up there, he had this video that I first saw of him where he's holding this giant steak. And like early on, it was like, I'm the $1 million chef, and I'm going to talk about how to make an awesome steak. Like, okay, I know what to expect now. Yeah. Whereas somebody might come on and go, hey, welcome to my podcast, and here's who I am, and here's what I do. And today, next thing you know, you're a minute in, and you mentioned the steak thing, and you lost everybody.
No one's, 6 seconds. No one stuck around to find out. Hook them in with that giant tomahawk.
What's been, as we close, what's been the one of your biggest takeaways so far in the last couple months that you're like, wow, I didn't know this before, and I see how it all fits together now?
I don't know. That's actually a really good question.
I got a good question for you. I got you stumped.
I don't know.
You don't know. Nothing sticks out. What about video? I mean, some things you've done differently.
We started using AI.
Yep.
That's what I'll go ahead and say is my biggest takeaway in the last couple of months. We started using AI to help improve our video descriptions.
Okay. So talk about what AI is to people out there. It's not Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
You're probably too young for Allen Iverson.
I remember my dad had the shoes. I was like,
crossover.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So we've been using Jasper actually for our video descriptions and some of our video titles, and it's just taken us to a whole nother level. I'm a decent enough writer, but just having that computer generated, like, here's 4 other ways you could say this.
Okay.
And then you take a couple bits and pieces here and there, combine it all again, send it back through the AI, and then you have a masterpiece. And some of these descriptions and titles, I want to click on them. And I made it. I want to click on it. That's how good it is.
So it's almost like I'm saying, hey, here's what the topic of this video is, and you're my in-person AI. You're like, no, I think we need to go with this. And then you pop it in, and then the computer goes, actually, based on all this online trends and data, go with this.
Yep, exactly.
Well, there you go. There's a technology tip from Peter Musk. So that's all we got. Thanks for being on the episode.
Yeah. Happy to be on.
MPTV coming at you every Tuesday. We'll see you next episode.